past few years, there were so many talking about 9H, about hardness.
Yes.
They talk about layering. The problem is that even the paint itself is not hard like glass.
Yeah.
This is glass.
Yeah.
So glass is solid, hard.
Yeah.
It's not flexible, but the paint and the body, the metal, it's flexible.
There is a degree of flexibility, right? Because in different weather conditions, the clear coat expands and contracts under temperature. Right?
100%. The hardness of the clear coat itself is approximately 6H, 7H. Technical wise, you cannot make the clear coat harder than it is. So when you put a 9H or 10H coating, which is actually 10H is a diamond, and you put this on a 6 or 7H surface, you will not get 9H. You cannot make the clear coat harder than it is.
So basically, even let's say like I put 10H, the resultant surface, it's still at max 6H because the clear coat underneath is 6H.
Right. There are so many myths about coatings. There are some good reasons for ceramic coatings, but there are also limits.
Yeah. So Sonnax also developed its own line of ceramic coating.
Right.
We use the CC1, we use the CC Evo here. So what is the product promise that CC1 and CC Evo has versus others in the market?
First of all, we have a philosophy. Our philosophy is, even if we are a chemical producer, we always try to use harmless ingredients. Many coatings have ingredients, they are really harmful for the human body, for the environment. Especially we care about the user because there is an ingredient, it's called fluorine.
Fluorine, yes.
Fluorine, it's a non-biodegradable ingredient. It's also researched that it can cause cancer. So it's amazing and it's responsible for the performance in terms of beading. But we said we don't want to use this ingredient anymore because it is very harmful and we don't want to use it. So we were the first with the CC36, which was without fluorine. We don't promise 9 years, 10 years, lifetime or whatever. There is no coating which can last 10 years.
Correct.
Okay, it can last. I can also say ours last 10 years when I put the car in the garage and we don't drive it.
Yes, yes.
But under regular conditions, at least after 1 year, you need to do something. So
maintenance.
Maintenance is the key. Many people think they apply a ceramic coating and the car get bulletproof. You don't need to wash the car anymore.
No such thing, guys. Yeah. No such thing. Yeah.
And you also get no scratch anymore and stone chip proof. It's not true.
No.
If somebody says, I will apply you 2 layers, 3 layers, I charge for every single layer, honestly, it makes no sense. Because layering, what means? When you have a 9H coating and you apply several layers, the thickness is also not measurable and the application is actually very complicated. Because when you apply 1 layer, you need to wait until it's cured, fully cured.
How long does it take to cure?
We need minimum a couple of days and not hours. Even if you use UV light, IR light, it can accelerate the curing process, but it's curing. Imagine when you respray a car, the car is ready after a day to take it out and the clear coat gets already hard enough to drive the car or to polish the car. But you cannot put something on top because it's still evaporizing, so it needs time. And in the case of a paint, it needs up to 4 weeks until it's fully cured.
4 weeks after a respray, fully cured, before you can consider applying
a PPF, a coating or whatever. Because what has happened when we apply a PPF or a coating, we will clog the pores. So the paint cannot breathe anymore and it evaporates. So all the solvents and so on, they can cause problems under the PPF, for instance. So the PPF, when it's installed before 4 weeks, let's say, before it's not fully cured, in the worst case, when you take off the PPF after a few years, you will also take off the clear coat.
So what you're saying is that before the clear coat manages to cure, it is still evaporating. Right. So as you apply the PPF glue on the surface, because it is still evaporating,
it tries to evaporate.
It's rising, right? So the glue is not adhering properly to the surface. Or in some ways, it bonds too strongly with the clear coat as well. And PPF yellows over time. This is confirmed.
This is not a problem from underneath, this is the problem from the environmental influences like the UV. And that's why it's also very important to make a proper maintenance to a PPF as well. Because as I told you, everything depends on the maintenance. When you apply a ceramic coating, you need to make a proper wash, use the right chemicals for. We don't recommend to use automatic wash because of course mechanical action can reduce the performance of the coating.
Yeah,
and
correct.
can also cause scratches. And
Correct.
there is no coating which really protect against scratches.
There's one thing that we frequently deal with coating is that we see they seem to attract watermarks more readily than uncoated cars. Why is that so?
I'm not a chemist, but what I can tell you is the ceramic coatings are based on SiO2.
Yeah.
So silicate.
Yeah.
And here, especially in Asia, you
Yeah.
have a lot of silicate in the water as well.
Ah.
Yeah. So, and the same molecules, they solve each other.
Oh, okay.
So it means when you have a ceramic coating, and especially those hard coatings,
yes.
really 9H coatings, they tend more to water stains than the softer ones.
Okay.
Like this is a big advantage of our coatings.
Yeah.
Our coatings are not 9H. We're the first to claim the force of flexibility.
Yeah. Oh yes, yes,
Yeah?
yes.
So with the CC36, the force of flexibility. Our top coat, we have a two-step system. We have here our base coat. This is SiO2 based.
Yeah.
So this is the ceramic based layer. And the gloss coat, it's indeed not a real ceramic, it's a hybrid coating. It's our SI carbon technology.
Yeah.
This is a polymer technology. It's anorganic and organic polymers. And they keep the surface soft and smooth and flexible. And that's why the water spots are easier to remove from our coatings than from others.
So what you're telling is that the CC Evo coating, relative to most other products in the market, the surface is softer.
It's softer, it's not that hard,
Yeah.
it gets solid of course, but it stays flexible.
It's flexible. The word is flexible, not soft, but flexible. Right.
Because the original property of the clear coat is
Flexible.
flexible.
Right. You
So
need to expand
you
and
need-
contract.
And there is a good reason for it, because all the paint manufacturers and all the car producers, if the best protection would be a super hard coating,
Yeah.
the clear coat, why they don't use it? Because the car is moving,
Yes.
the paint contract and expand, so it should be flexible.
It must actually metal, the bodywork
Yeah.
expands and contracts.
100%.
Right? So
Right.
your clear coat, your paint needs to expand and contract with the metal itself.
Right.
If your hardness versus the metal is not compatible, you are creating, friction.
There are some exceptions. There are hard clear coats
Yeah.
from Mercedes, for instance, ceramic clear coats, but not the whole layer is that hard. There is a polymer layer which is flexible. The hard particles are embedded in the flexible layer, so that's why it's still flexible but hard.
Because there's a flexible layer sandwiched in between, so it gives that
Yeah.
wiggle room.
But can also not protect against scratches and stone chips. It's maybe a bit more scratch resistant than other clear coats, but not 100% scratch resistant.
There's no such thing as 100% scratch resistant, isn't it?
The only thing what makes the paint scratch resistant is a PPF. But even a PPF you can scratch.
Correct.
Anyway, but
Correct.
it protects the original paint against scratches.
Yeah.
So the two-step system, what makes it so special? First of all, easy in use. You can apply it on any kind of surface. Both systems are suitable on regular paints, on matte paint, on PPF, also on plastic. And it's a really reliable quality and performance you get because every paint is different. We have Porsche, it's a medium hard paint.
Correct.
We have a BMW, Mercedes, all the German cars, they have hard paint. We have Japanese cars, Honda, Toyota, Mazda, they have very soft paint. So our coatings, they have really reliable performance on all different kinds of paints.
I think the flexibility part is really the key selling point.
Yes.
You're not selling brute force hard, but
No.
you are flexible. You are flow state.
We keep the original property. This is the point. We don't change anything. The main reason or the main question is what's the reason to apply a ceramic coating? I can apply wax. It's a good protection.
Yes.
I can apply a sealant, the polymer sealant. It's also good protection. The only difference in all those sealants and different kind of protections is the durability. So a wax, when we look into the microscope and the wax, it's not bonding to the paint. There's no connection. There are only just a few small wax droplets, wax flakes. They stay on top of the paint.
Yeah.
There are gaps in between.
Correct.
So there is no strong bonding. That's why a wax is not really chemical resistant.
Yeah.
It doesn't stay that long. So it's very limited in durability. Of course, easy in application, easy to reapply, smooth and still a nice.
You still get the effect.
Yes, right.
It's just shorter time frame. Yeah.
Especially for those guys, they like to do something on their cars. Yeah. they're applying wax and they're doing some kind of massage, this,
Yes.
So then the polymer technology. We have the polymer net shield, which is an outstanding product. It's a polymer technology. Poly is a Greek term, means many molecules. And those molecules, they connect together and they have also strong bonding to the paint. They're building a closed layer. That's why they are more durable and more resistant. And this is something in between a wax and a coating. Easy in application, good beading, good performance, good durability. And on top of the protections is the coating. This is in terms of durability the highest level. Of course, it takes also more skills, more efforts to apply, and it's the most cost-intensive version of protecting a car. But it lasts also extremely long when you take care of.
But let's talk a bit further for the benefit of consumers who did not use Sonex coating. Let's say like if we receive a customer's car that is using a coating from another brand. And let's say for example they have watermark, and this is one of those that are the hard, those 10H. How would you suggest that we assist the customer to solve his watermark problem?
The problem is that in the most cases the watermarks, they are not just removable by cleaner. You need to polish.
But polishing will...
I think it depends a bit. When they are just etched on the upper surface, then you can make a light polish. Maybe you will not remove all of the existing ceramic coating. But in the worst case, you remove the coating, so you have to reapply. And watermarks are a big problem. There are a few products where we can use on top of ceramic coatings like a sacrificial layer to protect against watermarks. For instance, like ceramic active shampoo. These have already this kind of effect. So when you wash a car with this shampoo, this builds a thin layer of a polymer on top of the coating. So until the next wash, it should be actually protected against the watermarks. It's a sacrificial layer or a spray and seal. Some which are more effective and lasting longer are the new ceramic detailers. We have here the Ultra Slick Detailer, which is the daily maintenance product, lasts up to 2 months. And the big brother of it is the spray coating, which is really outstanding in performance. It lasts up to 4 months. It's easy in application, super beading, slick finish, and this is really a sacrificial layer to prevent watermarks.
But even if a car that is not coated, you spray this on.
Right. Even for those who don't want to spend that much money for a ceramic coating, they can use this as a standing alone product and they get an amazing effect.
But of course, this is a 4-month thing, so you have to come back for maintenance.
Of course.
Every month, 2 months, 3 months, and you have that shining effect.
There is nothing which lasts forever, and you have to do maintenance and you have to take care of the clear coat of the car, because otherwise you have the trouble with the watermarks or scratches or whatever. So a proper wash is the secret, and a proper maintenance is the secret of a long-term protection.